Nioh. So the full game release was this month. I had a section on it in my video for January where I compared it to Dark Souls. And it is. I mean, it's still Dark Souls in Japan. But some things I didn't touch on. So the combat is a lot more in-depth. And the looting system, which I don't think I went over, it's a lot closer to something like Diablo or Borderlands. That you have, in that pretty much every enemy you kill will drop new items. Might be weapons, might be armor, might just be consumable items. But it's not like... I mean, I know in Dark Souls there are enemies do drop items and so on, but they're not like tiered. So they're like tiered items here, and like you have common, uncommon, rare, unique, that kind of thing. So the Diablo system, or the Blizzard system, might be more apt. Anyway, I got a chance to play the proper game now. And that's Derek the Executioner. I thought that was cool. He had my name, even though he spelled it wrong. And then I'm watching other LPers play it, and they're making fun of his name, so I was like, fuck you guys. And then we got this guy who's pretty much Onikage from Tenchu. And that's what I've been calling him. I don't actually remember what his real name is. But it hasn't changed a whole lot from the beta. And like the beta was really good. And so is the full game. The only thing I would pull it up on... is the level system, or the stage system. There are distinct stages in the game, like distinct levels, as opposed to something like Dark Souls, which is just a big open world and you just progress through it. This has individual levels, as in you pick them off the map and you go to them, and they have recommended experience level you should be to do this, and so on. And then there's extra things like a Twilight version of that mission, which is a much more difficult version, close to something like Destiny. The story is very in the background, to the point that I don't actually know what it is. I know the opening is our character William Adams, who is a real character, but I doubt these were true to life events, has his guardian spirit stolen from him, and he travels to Japan to get it back, pretty much. That's kind of it. I'm sure there's more to it, but it's so, like, you spend so much time in the levels that you do kind of forget what is actually going on in the overarching storyline. So I'm wearing my DLC armor in all of this footage. It carried me through the first level, but it didn't hold up in the second level. I know I started replacing it fairly quickly after that, so... these are Kodama that you can pick up in the level that give you different stats. This is me pulling 3 people, which was very stupid. I don't even know how I did it, but anyway. But this is a chance to show off the stance. So this is low stance I'm in now. It's very fast, doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's very quick and keeps me mobile, so I don't get hit too much, which lets me take on 3 guys, which I really shouldn't have been doing. Anyway, there's a lot to the game. I've played a lot of it and not gotten very far. Let's put it that way. It's still quite hard. I know a lot of people are saying it's a lot harder than Dark Souls, and then there's people saying no, it's not. Dark Souls is more difficult. Bloodborne is more difficult. Having not played those games, this is the first time I've played a Soulsy type game. All I can say is it's tough. It's pretty tough. You can take that for what it's worth. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. The music you can hear in the background, it's not great, it's fine. It does a decent service to the game, but that's kind of all it's got going for it, really. The combat is why you're playing it. The combat, the loot system, getting better over time, that kind of thing. I'm sure there'll be more in the future. So Final Fantasy XV had an event this month, the Mughal Chocobo Carnival, which took place in-game in Altissia, in the city in Altissia. I hadn't actually reached Altissia yet in my playthrough, so this is the first time I saw it, and I saw it all dressed up in these garish colours and stuff. Anyway, it's kind of like a Disneyland thing for, Mughals and Chocobos and such. Bit of fan service, really. and a bit of a distraction from the main game. It also brought Carbuncle back, and I kind of like this gimmick they have of Carbuncle talking through text messages. I don't know, I like it. And he's kind of cute. Or she, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway. There's no plot or anything. There isn't even any combat. There's some like mini games that have a bit of combat in them, but there's not a whole lot to it. You're kind of just going around collecting tokens, and you can redeem the tokens later on to watch a fireworks show, and that's pretty much all you're doing. You can also use the tokens to buy items that you can use back in the main game. I used it to pick up some upgrade materials. Oh god, that was good. Sorry, I had to pause there for that music. Anyway, I used it to pick up some upgrade materials that I was having trouble getting in the main game, so that was easy. I didn't have to fight any hard enemies, and I could get some better weapons. But otherwise, it's just an excuse to kind of take a break from the game and to see some stupid shit. And a lot of it is focused around Noctis taking photographs, so introducing photo mode for Final Fantasy 15. A lot of PS4 games have photo mode now. It's not quite a full-on, it's not quite like the full-on Uncharted photo mode or the Horizon photo mode. It's a lot more just letting Noctis take pictures instead of Prompto. They're not like the auto pictures that Prompto takes at the end of the day. You kind of just stop what you're doing and take a picture. So it's just showing that off. Anyway, it's a bit of fun, very light-hearted. Stupid costumes. Seeing other characters showing up in weird positions. There's Aranea just chilling out. What's up? And this is the fireworks section. Again, just to take pictures. That's kind of it. It's over now, anyway. So, you can't go back and check on it.
Hey! Whoa, easy there! Hey! Come on, buddy. Where's the hair? Wow, a day to remember. Quit!
Well, Ghost Recon Wildlands had 2 betas this month. It had a closed beta, which is all this footage is from, and it had an open beta. Pretty much back to back. I think it was like a 2-week break, which kind of begs the question why they even bother having the closed beta, but anyway. So Ghost Recon Wildlands is an tactical, team-based third-person shooter set in an open-world, fictionalized Bolivia that's been taken over by a drug cartel. And you're coming in as Ghost Recon force to fix the problem, basically. I wasn't particularly enamored with what I played. So I played single player, which is my guy and 3 teammates who you don't see with this whole video. Most of the footage, you might see them in the peripherals every now and then because they do nothing. They're useless. The AI doesn't help. The tactics that you can, the orders you can give them are really of little benefit. I don't know why they're there. And I played multiplayer with a friend of mine. And it was just the 2 of us, so it doesn't replace the 2 people with computer controlled characters. Although it's probably a good thing. This is me trying to get my character to turn around. He refuses. Anyway. So yeah, for it to be a team-based game, single player wise, it isn't. It's a single player game with 3 idiots who don't help you. And in multiplayer, unless you have 3 friends, you're not really going to get the most out of it. I think it's a real missed opportunity, particularly in the single player. Like, you can't... Well, 1, the 3 guys are useless, but also you can't customize them. They come with their own loadout. You can't give them their own guns. You can't, give them stuff to do. You can't make one of the guys a stealth guy, one of the guys is a sniper guy, one of the guys is a vehicles guy, something like that. No, nothing. They're all the same. All 4 people play the same, and you only control one of them. You can't customize their look either. They're locked in. It really feels like the single player is an afterthought. It's really going for multiplayer, and as I said, unless you've got 3 friends you can play this, I don't think you're going to get much out of it. Now, obviously I'm playing this from the closed beta. I didn't actually get to play the open beta. So things could have changed. I doubt it. This game is only out in a couple of weeks. Because if it's even a couple of weeks, I think it's like a couple of days. It just feels a lot like Mercenaries or Just Cause, but without the fun stuff from either of those. Like, it doesn't have the mayhem from Mercenaries and Just Cause, and it doesn't have like the weird grapple gun and wingsuit from Just Cause 3 either. So I don't know. The open world thing could be good, but didn't see enough of it in the beta for me to say. It being a team-based game and your team doesn't do anything, not great. The stealth is a little too loose for my case, for my tastes rather. I don't know. I really need to pay attention to the reviews on this one. But I wasn't, like, I'm not blown away by it. Maybe. If I can get some people together to play it, I might have some interest in it, but as it stands right now, no. I don't think you'll see much of this from me anyway. Keep an eye on the reviews though. I might be wrong. There's going to be some spoilers in this section for Final Fantasy XV and the next section for Resident Evil 7. So if you want to skip ahead, check the timestamps in the description. So I wanted to mention this part, I think it's chapter 9 in Final Fantasy XV. So in my own playthrough at this point, I was actually kind of getting a bit burned out of Final Fantasy XV. It just kind of started to feel like a bit of a slog. And I think that has to do with just the side quests and the hunts and things like that. Like, it felt like that's all I was doing, and the story had kind of gotten away from me. So at some point I just said, you know, like, screw it, I'm done with side quests now, I'm just going to play the story. And then, holy shit, chapter 9, the story just goes fucking overdrive. And I don't think I touched the side quest after that, and just played right through to the end of the game. So I went from kind of just, let's just get this over with, to, okay, let's play this right now, here we go. So I really liked the whole game, overall, after having done that. But it's, Altitia in particular, this chapter is just really, really good. It's like really well done. It's got a great heel turn from, not even a heel turn, I suppose he was always the bad guy, but Arden, anyway, becomes like the proper villain of the story. He didn't really have a villain yet. You kind of thought it might have been Ravis, you thought it might have been the Emperor, but no, turns out it was Arden. And the music playing in the background is Arden's theme. It's his second theme. He has a theme earlier in the game, and it's a great example of theming in soundtracks. Like the first one, it's still kind of playful. It's got a bit of the military beat to it, but it's still kind of a playful theme. Whereas this has gone like full evil, basically. And I don't think I've hated a villain as much as Arden. Like, I like him as a character, but as a villain, like, I really wanted to kill him. And I definitely wasn't expecting it to be Zone of the Enders in the Leviathan fight, but there you go. And I also liked, I'm going to say I liked that Luna died, but no. The scene of Luna's death, like this whole section, Noctis like becoming the king for a bit, and just killing Leviathan, having to deal with Arden's kind of betrayal, even though he sort of knew it was going to happen. Luna dying before they could, you know, actually meet up properly. Like, I know a lot of people are like you barely see Luna in the game. They have no real emotional attachment to it, but I felt it. I think it was a better version of... I'm gonna get flamed for this now, but I think it was a better version of Cloud and Aerith from Final Fantasy VII. Like, I bought this relationship a lot more than Cloud and Aerith, and this scene obviously is almost a direct... Well, not this part, but you know, it's coming up in a minute. It's almost directly from Final Fantasy VII, but... Anyway, I'm just saying it because it's a big turning point in my opinion of Final Fantasy 15. At the time before this, I was kind of like, yeah, it's good, but it's kind of boring as well. Or had gotten boring, and then, no, just play the story, like, it's actually quite good. So I definitely turned around on it. This is the part I'm talking about. It's almost directly lifted from Final Fantasy VII. Anyway. So yeah, Final Fantasy 15 went from pretty good to holy shit.
That was supposed to be for you, goddammit!
Fuck you, Lucas. So, spoilers again for Resident Evil 7, so if you want to skip ahead to the next section. So I finished it now at this point, and just a couple of questions, I guess, about the plot and some things that I did and didn't like about the game. So I think like the first half of the game, from the house and the greenhouse, clearly the better parts of the game. They're definitely the more tense and scary parts of the game. It's really once you get past that into like the testing area with Lucas, and onto the wrecked ship, and then later on to the salt mines, it does kind of lose a bit of its tension. It's definitely not scary anymore because you're so armed up, whatever. You have a lot of guns and a lot of supplies at this stage, so it does lose it a bit. It's still good. Like, it's still a good game. It's still Resident Evil at that point. It's just, it's not quite as good. And the opening is also, like, very, very good. So, yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a disappointment, but, I mean, overall, still good. So this fight with Jack is, like, the last big fight of the game. Like, the last boss isn't really a fight, you know, it's kind of scripted. It's a story fight. Which I know a lot of people are kind of not happy about, but I'm fine with it. Like, I don't mind the last fight being a story fight. Like, I'm fine with that. A lot more games are doing it. You know, like the second last fight will be the big fight, the one that you nearly need some actual skill for, and then the last fight will just be a story thing. And I'm fine with that. That doesn't bother me. What did kind of bother me is the choice, like halfway through the game, or maybe more than halfway through the game, this choice here, where you need to choose between Mia and Zoe. Now I picked Mia, and I haven't done the Zoe leg yet. I'm going to try that later. I just thought it was kind of shitty. Story-wise, it's like a shitty situation, because you had to use one of the serum to kill Jack, but... I mean, Mia is the obvious choice because she's your wife, or your ex-wife, or whatever, but you don't know her role in the story until after that. Like, it's the section after that where you find out she's kind of responsible for the whole thing. And you're thinking, well, shit, maybe I probably should have saved Zoe instead. And I think it's actually stated that Mia's ending is the correct ending, the canon ending, the good ending, if you like. Because things do kind of get wrapped up nicely, but should it be? I don't know. Anyway. So at what point did you think, or did you know that Evelyn was also the grandmother? Or the old woman. She's not really the grandmother. Because I kind of called it like right at the start of the game, and I was a little disappointed that I was actually right, because I kind of just threw it out as a what the hell. Anyway. So yeah, so into the ending of the game anyway, with the Chris Redfield reveal. So I had hit the radio before this, with the conversation they have over the radio, and I thought, like, it didn't sound like Chris Redfield's voice actor, but I thought, is that Chris Redfield? Because he's got that kind of Americana accent to him, I guess. And then, so I had saved at that point and stopped playing for a bit, and then the DLC announcement came up. Oh, Chris Redfield, story missions. Like, yep, shit, that's Chris Redfield. So the reveal at the end, I was kind of expecting it. But he's working for Umbrella. But it's not the same Umbrella? It's got a different logo? I thought he worked for the BSAA, what's going on there? Is it actually Chris Redfield? I don't know. Anyway, Resident Evil 7 is very good. I'll probably go back and play it in VR and do Zoe's side mission, and I may do an LP at some point, so look out for that. Or tell me in a comment if you want to see the VR version of that in LP. Anyway.
We'll be together forever.
So those were some of the games I played in February 2017, and some spoilers for some games that I was still playing, or no spoilers if you skip that section. So next month there's going to be a lot of games out that I want to play, and hopefully I'll be able to show you some of them. Nier Automata, Horizon, which I may or may not get, Mass Effect Andromeda, Torment, Tides of Numenera, Night in the Woods. Oh god, there's more, I just can't think of them right now. But look forward to them. I will hopefully play most of them. Otherwise, you know, like and subscribe and comment and all that jazz. And thanks for watching.